again, because of the reasons we have highlighted: overcrowding, no access to enough land, and so on. Congestion. You have a lot of people in these cities in very tiny spaces, so it becomes a challenge. So, for example, this is a hypothetical. Let's say initially there was a toilet facility in a house built to accommodate a family of 5. Those old time houses, we know they only have one toilet. It's now that people have toileting rooms. So you have a whole, maybe a compound with different subunits. Then you have just one toilet, one bathroom. Initially, maybe you have like 20, but with the recent pace of things that we talked about, you can have up to 40-something people in one compound using just one toilet, and that becomes a challenge. So definitely, in urban and peri-urban communities, issues such as fecal sludge management, inadequate drainage, and environmental pollution still persist. To address these challenges, the ministry is implementing certain concrete actions which we need to share. For example, we're implementing the community-led total sanitation using the children-wide approach, which I've mentioned earlier, supporting the development of city-wide inclusive sanitation plans for FCC and Ward C, FCC Freedom City Council and Western Area Rural District Council. We are also looking at issues around behavioral change campaigns under the Clean and Green Salon initiative to promote hygiene and open defecation, because the education must be there. You need to let people open defecation, how they are linked to diseases, and the long chain of events that borders on the health of the community. We need to let them to know that the education, if not sensitized, may only know that he or she has defecated at this point and has relieved him or herself, and that's it. But that person will not know that when that happens, for example, if it's an open place, you have flies coming in or close to communities, the flies can go and infect food, or the person might not know that if they are defecating in a particular river downstream, for example, they're using that water for drinking purposes. They will not know. You need to educate them on these things that we see as normal, but these are very valuable lessons. That is why that is one of our approaches. We also need to, as part of our strategy, enhance investment in fecal sludge management plants, safe disposal, and reuse system. That is very common in urban areas. How do we, for those of us who have the modern type of toilet, it cannot go endlessly. The times it gets full, you have to empty it. But when you empty, it's not just about emptying. Yes, you can empty and bring the relief to the household or the institution, but where do you dispose of it? That's another question. Fecal sludge management. And while we see it as waste, also in terms of the economics around it, it can be translated into wealth. How we can use that to make money and to create jobs. So that's another thing we are focusing on. And then promoting climate resilient sanitation infrastructure capable of withstanding floods and environmental shocks. Of course, we know that that has been in recent times, communities flooding. And when floods occur, we know what happens. It comes with a lot of things, and it moves from one community to the other. It goes into the street. So all of these are things that we are focusing on. So when we're celebrating World Toilet Day tomorrow, we want to call citizens, all citizens, development partners, civil society organizations, of course the Fourth Estate, you are also in the category one, special category, because you reach out more to citizens than any other constituency. That is why we feel that it is good that we talk to you before the event, because your contribution is priceless, and it is working with entities like yourselves and those that are highlighted that we can collectively manage the whole business of sanitation in the country. Every one of us have a role to play to keep our country clean, healthy, and green. So let us renew our collective commitment to ending open defecation in whatever space we find ourselves. educating people, ensuring that practices that promote open defecation-free society communities, or promoting safe sanitation. The message actually goes far and wide. Together we can transform sanitation in the country. We can protect our environment. We can build healthier, more dignified and sustainable future for all. Dignity, not just for all communities, but when we also talk about special category of people like women and children. When you give access to things like simple things that we think like a toilet, you will not know